You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra. After weeks of intense political campaigning, it is finally time for the Karnataka polls and the results. We here at NewsX have put together a list of priorities and actions and a plan for the state which must be pursued regardless who comes to power. In this broadcast, we sit down with prominent residents of Bengaluru and discuss the Bengaluru action plan and how to make things better in Karnataka. Joining us on the show at this point in time is Mr. Dinesh Gundu Rao, AICC in charge, Tamil Nadu. Mr. Prithvi Reddy, Aam Aadmi Party, Karnataka President, is also joining us on the show. Kavita Srinath, Civic Leader, with us on the program as well. Dr. Jacob Krasta, former President of FKCCI, with us on the show as well. And last but by no means the least, Dr. PSV Rao, Consultant Surgeon, Manipal Hospital, Hebbal, Bengaluru, is also joining us on the program. Thank you everyone for taking out the time and speaking with us. Dr. Krasta, I'll begin with you if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, Dr. Krasta, every election predominantly cannot be about politics. Every poll result cannot be about who comes to power. It has to boil down to what the civic society of a particular state or a particular country needs at this point in time. Looking at the last 5 years of what's transpired in Karnataka, there have been troubles, there have been celebrations, there have been controversies, there have been a lot of things to ponder over. And of course, there's also this question of the infrastructure status in Karnataka. And like I said in my opening monologue, that it does not matter who comes to power. The fact still remains that Karnataka is not prepared to take on perhaps the rest of India or even the rest of the world when it comes to amenities and services and infrastructure that is currently at display today.
Yeah. See, the unfortunate point of view of all the Karnataka citizens is, although there was a double engine Sarkar, BJP here and BJP at the central, we should have taken a maximum utilization of the benefit where each double Sarkar could have done it, whereas it has not happened. And it has been, all the parties are blamed also with a 40% bribe and all that, and the quality of the infrastructure, be it road, be it drainage system, be it anything infrastructure or any project. So it has, the quality is not come. Whereas probably that is the reason why the Karnataka citizens have thought about it, stating that there has to be a change. Whereas the change to what? Change to which Sarkar? So that is the reason why with the exit poll, if you see that, there is a 50-50. That means the majority of voters have given such a situation in the exit poll that all the BJP or even Congress, if you consider, they are somewhere around, say, below the number mark of 113. So somewhere around 90 or 110, BJP also 90, 110, and the JDS may go around, say, 30, 35. So here the question arises now, JDS may reap the fruit out of this, either may join to Congress or may join to BJP. But there is one notable point we need. This exit poll has done, or rather conducted before 3 p.m. Whereas after 3 p.m., if you observe the percentage of voting, it has taken 20% surge has taken place. So probably that exit polls will definitely go haywire when you consider this 20% of poll which has taken after 3 p.m. So it is anybody's guess tomorrow, whether BJP or Congress, definitely somebody will get the majority. That is what I think. Whereas when we get the majority, probably if the BJP gets the majority, BJP will not be in the form of which they have ruled for the 3.5 years. Definitely is going to change. And the central government is going to pass on that kind of stringent norms here for the BJP, that if we have seen it, almost around, say, 69 MLAs, sitting MLAs have not given a place for recontesting. So there could be a lot of changes as far as the BJP Sarkar is concerned. And Karnataka being a knowledge hub, second highest GST payer, and the majority of FDI is coming in Bangalore. If at all we don't transform into an economy and move forward and give this benefit to our Karnataka citizen, then what is the use of the government? Government, if at all, they reap the taxpayers' economy into their pocket and move forward, and nobody is questioned and nobody is been judged. That is unfortunate for our Karnataka. So Karnataka being such a knowledge hub, and most of the students from the other states are coming and joining here in Karnataka, and that is the reason why Karnataka has become highly traffic oriented, and most of the ITES industries are concentrated in Bangalore. 75% of the economy comes from the Bangalore city. What this government has done for Bangalore city? They have spoiled the Bangalore city. And so-called when S.M. Krishna was there, in fact, it's projected in 2000, 2000 or 99, 2004, that he was to make Bangalore city as a Singapore city. And he tried it and attempted it also. But over a period of time, the deterioration has happened in the city is huge, and people are fed up with that. And now again, probably tomorrow we'll know by around 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock who is going to lead Karnataka. We watch and see. Yes, Vineet, this is my point.
Absolutely. Kavita Srinath, if you can hear me. Kavita
Sorry
Srinath.
for it. Yeah. What are we discussing about? Is it about the exit polls or?
No, ma'am. We are discussing why Karnataka, has lagged behind despite a double engine ki sarkar formula in Karnataka, and also that BJP held Karnataka in a lot of stead in terms of its importance, because when it comes to certain states, perhaps Karnataka is the only one where the BJP had an elected government. But the 5 years that have gone by in Karnataka, they have not really, painted a very good picture of what the development work has been like, from the roads to the rains, to the other problems that have come up in Karnataka. How do you think that any political party that comes to power will address these issues, if at all?
Yeah, that's very right, because the BJP has given a very bad impression on the youth and the citizens of Karnataka. The 40% commission sarkar, the egg scam, be it roads, be it trains, everything, and a very bad impression, and that is the reason why people, the voting turnout has turned out very low, and I'm sure the people of Karnataka would have not voted in favor of BJP because of this malgovernance, and I'm sure this time the Congress government will come into force, and we will see a great difference in Karnataka.
But what do you think has been lacking? What do you think is making this shift possible for the Congress party to leverage this opportunity? Because the Congress in its own self has not been doing well nationally as well. Why? I mean, is the situation so bad that the people would actually elect the Congress party despite their reputation taking a toll in the rest of the country?
Previously, the Congress party government was doing well. Be it Siddaramaia's government, that was the best government. He had given so many government facilities like Anna Bhagya, Kshira Bhagya, and many more. That was useful for the middle class and the lower middle class citizens. And even now, they have given so many guarantees which will benefit the middle class and the lower middle class as well. So I am pretty sure, positive also, that the Congress government will come up with a very good governance and will prove themselves.
Dr. Rao, if you can hear me, sir. Dr. Rao?
Yeah.
Well, Karnataka is, a big business and industrial hub. It contributes 8.5% to India's GDP. And in fact, most of the industrial projects in the entire country recently, maximum have been cleared in Karnataka. But yet, there have been slip-ups, there have been problems, there have been infrastructure issues for decades now. Why do you think it amounted to this?
Yes, Vineet, if you see the highways, the Bangalore-Pune highway, the Bangalore-Mangalore highway, of course, parts of it are being now further improved. but the more recent Bangalore-Mysore highway, there has been a lot of improvement in the infrastructure thanks to the central government international highways. Even in the state highways, there has been some improvement. I do remember that BJP didn't come to power straight away. It was a Congress JDS alliance which first came to power. But later on, when they had lots of differences, it was the JDS which was the third in the size in the assembly, which got the chief minister's post. So later on, when they couldn't run the government properly, that BJP managed to get many of the MLAs to resign and come and join BJP. They got re-elected on BJP ticket. Now, these 3 odd years has been the COVID pandemic years. And I think the Karnataka government did a pretty good job of managing this COVID situation, the vaccination drive, the free food to all the poor people, and the various other arrangements that they made. They did a good job relative to our neighboring states, both to the south and north. I think the Karnataka government did a far better job. And there has been a lot of infrastructure development going on in the last 3 years once the so-called double engine Sarkar came in. It has been, in people's perception, it has been more of a 1.5 engine Sarkar, but it has been doing a lot of things which over these 3 years in spite of the pandemic. So, one thing that we should remember is that the public perception is based on what the various media surveys and exit polls are showing. But my personal feeling is that I am looking at it as a voter, as a citizen here. I say that what the BJP government in the center has been doing, that is Modi and his team is doing, is to address the needs of the women. Very clearly, they have targeted all the essentials that they need, their security, financial security, various other measures for the poor. And these are not freebies being given at the time of election. These are long-term benefits being given to them. Many of the poor in my locality have managed to build their houses with the Awas Yojana. They have managed to get water connection, electricity continuously, not interrupted. And they are definitely finding this as a long-term benefit to them, not some thing that is given way at election times. So my feeling is that looking at it as the past, now why are people predicting that Congress is going to come to power? One, because Karnataka has a long history of voting different parties to the center and to the state. Two, of always changing the parties from one to the other because we have never been happy with any one party. So every time there is a anti-incumbency and there is a change of this thing. Third, this time has been a record turnout. I differ with the previous speaker who said the turnout has been poor. The turnout this time is a record ever, highest ever voting in Karnataka. Now, usually when there is high voter turnout, it means that the government is going to change. But this could also mean that there is a change from a government which is half engine to a government which is full engine. So I won't necessarily think that high voter turnout is bad. And the voters, women voters have voted in large numbers also. And the women are the one who are most affected when there is a law and order situation, when there is a lack of essentials, when they have to struggle for their daily living. So making their living easy definitely helps. And you saw the enthusiasm with which people responded to a Modi when he came here to Bangalore. It is very unusual for nearly 1 million people to turn up in Bangalore to wish him and to meet him. So this suggests that in the last 2 weeks, there is definitely a change of perception from what everyone thought Congress is going to win to what now looks like that Modi may have made the difference. And so I have a feeling that even though most of the media is saying that Congress is going to win comfortably, or at worst it will be a hung assembly, I personally feel that a lot of people have voted for Modi. It's not BJP they are voting for; they are voting for Modi, and they may get a working majority. We definitely don't want a hung assembly where horse trading goes on and resort politics goes on, and we do have an unstable government. We need a stable government, and I think we will get that tomorrow.
Okay. Mr. Reddy, if you can hear me, sir.
Yeah, hi. So,
Hi, Mr. Reddy. Mr. Reddy, of course, the Aam Aadmi Party, not much of a presence in Karnataka right now. But, as somebody who observes, the political ups and downs in Karnataka, what do you make of either party, doing the right thing for the people of Karnataka?
Yeah, so just to correct you, we have fielded 209 candidates across the state, and we are a new party, but we are certainly very much a part of this election. Dr. Jacob Krasta did mention that people have voted for change. I hope it's not just a change in parties, but a change in politics. Let's understand that Bangalore is not just the Bangalore of today, where you're talking about a Silicon Valley and an IT city. Bangalore has historically been an engine of growth. We've had the largest number of public sectors historically, and people from across the country for 70 years have migrated to Bangalore looking for work and opportunities. We have fabulous weather. We have amongst the most hospitable and kind people in the country. Having said that, poor and bad politics has made Bangalore suffer. In the past couple of years, we've had 100 people dying from potholes on Bangalore Road. For the past 1 month, people in Bangalore are struggling to get drinking water, when just 6 months ago, we had one of the best rains in history and the city was sinking. This is greed, this is corruption, and this is bad politics. So I believe that Bangalore and Karnataka requires a change in politics. Dr. Rao was mentioning, the amazing work that the BJP was supposed to have done. I completely disagree with them. We've not had a more corrupt government in the history of Karnataka. It's not the accusation of the media or the opposition parties. It's the reports of the Contractor Association, the School Association, the mutts, which are the religious institutions, have said even to get their donations, they need to pay 30%. So it's very sad to see a very well-educated, accomplished person like Dr. Venkatesh Rao making these comments that the 64% of schools in Karnataka don't have toilets. There is a school in BBMP zone which has got 0% result in the SSLC, which means all the students who appeared for the exam have failed after studying for 13 years. These are real problems, and I'm hoping that irrespective of which government comes, that they address these real problems and not look at a road show where someone comes, waves to you. Dr. Rao also mentioned that they voted for Modi. Modi is not going to be our chief minister. He is our prime minister. Modi ji is not going to come and resolve the problems of corruption, the roads, the flooding problems, and the numerous problems Bangalore has. This is a matter of concern for every Kannadiga and person specifically in Bangalore, because in the past couple of years, during the term of the so-called double half, 1.5 engine sarkaras that Karnataka has had, we've had investment moving away from Bangalore. People are choosing neighboring states purely because of the BJP. It's not true that you had the Congress and then the BJP. The Congress JDS government was there for 1 year. The BJP has been there for 4 years. While while Dr. Rao was mentioning the COVID help, it was also proven, I have filed cases with the Lokayukta, that the largest corruption that happened also was during the COVID time. So there are a lot of real issues to be addressed. And I think we should, as people living in Karnataka, seriously discuss these issues and not make it just about politics. Elections are over. People have decided whether you or me like it. We will have results tomorrow, and people have already decided. So we should keep the politics aside and discuss the serious issues that 6 months ago we were flooding. People required boats to move around Bangalore. Today, people in Bangalore don't have drinking water. So I think these are very, very serious issues. We should not be brushing this under the carpet, is my view.
Okay, point taken. Absolutely. Dr. Krasta, if I can come back to you. Well, Dr. Krasta, Karnataka has seen its fair share of controversies as well, be it the hijab row, be it Tipu Sultan, be it Veer Savarkar. But the fact of the matter is, do these issues really impact the people on ground? And do you think that whether these issues are of any significance will also be evident tomorrow? 224 assembly seats in Karnataka, and tomorrow we'll have the results. It's also going to be a learning for either party as to what is more important, whether the Congress is really interested in, putting or banning the Bajrang Dal, or the Bharatiya Janata Party is, intent on breaking up the Tipu Sultan issues. That really does not matter to the person who is not getting drinking water, like Mr. Reddy said. That really doesn't matter to the person, who has to take a boat instead of a motorbike to get to work.
I fully agree with you, Vineet, because the so-called that corruption has made a whole system corrupt by themselves. And probably it is started in the earlier government when there were 17 MLAs were removed out and they were again inducted by voting. So okay, the whole system has become corrupt. Okay. Now the question is, tomorrow we will know who is going to come. But whereas if the BJP comes with the majority that you cross the magic number of say 113, probably central government, BJP, Nadda and Amit Shah will definitely whip their whole pattern in such a way that they are getting ready for the parliament election 2024. So in this process of parliament election, they are not ready to lose like this here in Karnataka. So the whole government system will have an alert position and they have to definitely deliver back. Now, as is stated, what has happened with all these kind of situation is because of the corrupt government. And that way, if you see that, Congress, and as being an industrialist, I am saying, Congress also is not a good government. Actually, corruption started from the Congress government by itself. And now what is happening, even if the Congress comes, there are 3 chief ministers fighting each other for the post. D.K. Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah and Parameshwarappa, Dr. Parameshwarappa. He is also in line. And Mallikarjun Kharge also is there as a Dalit. So they are fighting in between themselves. So if the Congress comes as a majority, so I am doubtful how they are going to, because for them there is no threat. For them is a disaster, is a dead end. Whereas for the BJP, it is definitely is a progress, because the parliament election, they are going to come as a thumping majority in Delhi, and that is what the Modi, Amit Shah and Nadda say. So here, the whole process, if you see, and see the voting pattern, say the whole Karnataka voting pattern taken place, say 73%. So 73% is the highest in so far, whatever the election has happened. Whereas Bangalore city, out of the 18 seats, the pattern is only say 53%. That means balance 50% of the people have not come for voting. Why? This is the $1 million question. And probably that is the reason when you say last year, when the election day was declared as a Saturday, most of these IT and ITS fellows went on holidays for that. Voting was also 41%. So that is the reason why Election Commission has kept the voting on Wednesday, middle of the week. But even then, within the Bangalore city, it is only say 43%. So the balance 50% of people have not come for voting. So what does it indicate? That means they have suffered. Suffered in the sense, any government comes for power, whether it's the Congress or BJP, they are on same boat. They want to only see. Just imagine each MLA can have their asset much more than an industrialist, even Ambani, Mukesh Ambani. How it is possible? How can a MLA or an MP can amaze asset more than say 1,100 times more? And in the 1 year term of 5 years, their asset increases by say 100, 200%. They say it's in inflation. Because of the inflation has gone up. Hello, inflation is there even for industrialists. Why industrialists are not making money? Why politicians are making money? From whom? It is by corruption. So everybody cannot become a politician. See, that is our apathy as far as our industries are concerned. And when you say MSME, see, I belong to fraternity of MSME. When you say 48% of employment comes from MSME, 38% of export comes from MSME, so 30% of GDP comes from MSME, what is that? Which government has done anything for MSME? Nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
See, this is our apathy as far as the MSME is concerned. So, and in Bangalore, say 80% of the revenue comes from the Bangalore city when compared to other states of the Karnataka. So what is that we have done for the Bangalore city? That is the reason why the Bangalore city election pattern has reduced to 43% because they are not bothered because they want to survive by themselves and by voting they are not going to get anything, and that's the reason what has happened Bangalore versus other parts of the Karnataka.
Right. Group Captain V.N. Jha, Senior Scientist and former Joint Director of DRDO, a resident of Bengaluru, also joins us on the show. Dr. Jha, if you can hear me, sir.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Well, we're talking about Bangalore, and according to a recent survey which was conducted by the CSDS, the number one reason people wanted a change in government or went out to vote, the important factors for them were obviously the number one was unemployment. Number two was corruption. Most of them said that corruption had increased over the last few years. They did not say over the last 5 years, but they said over the last 7-8 years, corruption had increased. That is not only targeting the BJP ruled tenure, but also the tenures that came before. Where do you think this is going to end? 100 people, as was just pointed out by one of the panelists, have died just because of potholes in the state of Karnataka. If something like this happened in another country, or for a matter of fact, if it happened in the US, you could take the state to court and win millions of dollars in damages.
Not the state of Karnataka, Bangalore city alone.
Bangalore city, all right, that's even worse.
Well,
that's even worse, Mr. Reddy.
well, Vineet, I have been in Bangalore since 1993, and even before. I came to here in 1978-79 when I heard Bangalore is a garden city. Yes, those days Bangalore was really a garden city, and Bangalore prospered quite a lot subsequently. In the 80s, when the electoral reforms had taken place of Karnataka, thereafter we have been seeing the changes. I spent almost about 15 years of my service here in Bangalore. And then, as I mentioned to you, from 93 onwards, I have been here constantly. See, the peculiarity of the Bangalore are quite a few. No doubt, it is a Silicon Valley. But all these had happened much before BJP had put its foothold. No doubt that earlier governments have done quite a lot. But then there is one fact that we all understand, and it's a way of life here in Bangalore, that right since 1993, there is not a single government job that I have got it done herein without paying the bribe. If there is a campaign called Me Too for the bribes in Bangalore, almost every person would have paid the bribe for the civic work to be done, whether earlier it was Congress or it was JDS or any government which has been there. Look, government has been changing over the time, but the bureaucrats, they remain the same. There is a system. Corruption is a system here. It's institutionalized here, that if I have to get my flat, say Khata A or Khata B, I have to pay some amount of bribe to the person, then only I'll get it. So like this, there are plenty of ways of corruption that is there. Every Saturday and Sunday, you see the police chap standing, just 100 yards beyond the red light, wherein his sole earning is on that day that there will be at least 10% people who will be breaking the rules of the traffic, and they will pay their illegal, in the sense that they don't get the receipt for the payment. In case if they get receipt, they insist for receipt, then they pay 2,000 rupees fine. Otherwise, they come out in 500 rupees. So that's the way of life we have been here in Bangalore. We are used to the bribes and the corruptions in Bangalore that is going on. Now, coming back to this particular government, yes, I have made a article, the electoral conundrum of Karnataka 2023. I think I had sent a copy to you there, because I'm the executive editor of a magazine called Contriviews. I have published onto this, and I see slightly bit of grim situations for the ruling BJP, because they may not be able to come back to the power, or they may just scrape through with support of someone here and there. But having said that, I again acknowledge that the corruption is a way of life for us here. But all the same, I compliment Bombay government that Bombay himself has remained corruption-less. He has not indulged into any of the scam that we have seen. But yes, one unfortunate case of that 40% with which the government became infamous had happened. That is the way of life here in Bangalore. If educational institution has to get sanctions from the government, they will have to pay to the government, whether it was BJP here or earlier JDS or Congress or anyone. Earlier, it used to be the institutionalists. Now, in the last 3 years, I have seen Bombay government very closely. The things have slightly bettered off, but that corruption remains. It is rooted in our DNA, in the DNA of Karnataka. So that remains there. I will be, not surprised if the government doesn't come to power. But if anyone whosoever comes next, the same way of life will continue here. We will continue paying bribes again to the next government. And in the government, there is one very good system, that even if I pay, say, 1,000 rupees to the police for something, there is a system of distribution that goes right up to the hierarchy. So earlier, we used to be told that part of it goes to Siddaramaiah. I'm talking of 2013 and thereof. So part of it goes to Siddaramaiah. We accepted it. And in Siddaramaiah's time, you know how many type of scams were there. So that was a way of the Congress Karnataka to indulge into the scam, and that was the national character. That UPA government also was indulging into the same in 2013. So we accepted it. Now, after BJP came to the national scene, union government, the things had bettered in the central government offices here. But the state government office, unfortunately, remains the same by and large. There is a system of corruption that is going on, and I will not be surprised if part of this corruption money also goes to the BJP functionaries, whosoever is the minister. So that is a way of life here in Bangalore that we have seen. And one more thing, Vineet, what has happened? In the last 5-6 years, there has been hardly any development activity here in Bangalore. You have seen the story of potholes. You have seen the story of floods here. This particular government, they started undertaking the civic works in the last about 2.5 years or so. And as a result, in the last 1 year, we have had a lot of wounds, lot of nalas, drainage systems are being raised. So we are handicapped, our roads are blocked. This is a way of life that most of us have had. But fortunately, in the last about 1 month, 1.5 or 2 months, most of the roads are not done up. But this was too late, possibly, for the political minds or the political electoral minds to make their mind. They know that we have had enough of woes, civic woes, so let us change the government. Possibly, the mood of the here for a possibly change of the government, but that is only in Bangalore. In the remaining part of the Karnataka, there is a way that BJP had its own stronghold, Lingayata and all others. JDS, they have got their own strongholds. So caste lines are there. The religious lines are also there. But I
Right,
think
sir.
BJP may be just able to scale through with some help, Vineet.
Absolutely, sir. Dinesh Gundurao, All India Congress Committee in charge of Tamil Nadu, is joining us on the show. Mr. Gundurao, appreciate you speaking with us. The first question I want to ask you is, well, the exit polls have predicted a hung house in Karnataka. What is your assessment after the exit polls? Is it going to go the Congress way?
No, I don't think exit polls have predicted a hung assembly. Some have predicted a clear majority for Congress. Some are predicting a hung assembly with Congress as the number one party. And some are also projecting BJP as getting an absolute majority. So there are various exit polls, but I don't want to get into that. What I would like to say is that on the ground and getting information across the state, Congress is set to get an absolute majority. There's no doubt about that. And if the undercurrent is really strong, then it can go up to 140, 145 seats as per some of the exit polls. So it's a very clear-cut mandate for the Congress. People are rejecting BJP, that's for sure, and people are opting for Congress.
Mr. Gundurao, the JDS claims that no party will be able to form the government without their support and help. Will you be willing to join hands with the JDS if it comes to be?
So, that's what JDS wants, obviously, because if there's an absolute majority, then they don't have much role to play. So, obviously, they will prefer a hung assembly where they become the kingmakers, and then, they can also, lobby and try and, be part of the government. So, I think that is what they will want. But I don't see that happening now, because the people are going to give a very clear mandate, and I will be very surprised if we don't get an absolute majority. As per all our feedback, we're getting an absolute majority.
Well, Mr. Gundurao, in case of a hung assembly, will you allow the JDS to choose the chief ministerial face? Is that a possibility?
See, why talk about something which is not happening yet? I think all those things should be discussed if that situation arises. As per our calculations, that situation won't arise.
Well, and if you win the elections, who do you think? Who will be the next chief minister of Karnataka?
So that again, will be decided by the Congress legislature party and the party senior leaders, the opinion of the MLAs. And of course, the leadership will take everybody into confidence and decide who will be the next chief minister. Ultimately, what is most important is that we have a good chief minister and a good government. People want a good government, and so we need a person who's capable, who can handle all the complexities of running a government, and who can who can run the government with a firm hand. So I think that is what is most important, and that should be the priority. Not who becomes, but what kind of a government we give.
Right. Well, did the Congress do enough, Mr. Gundurao, to counter Prime Minister Modi's presence in Karnataka of late?
See, I have maintained that the fact that the Prime Minister campaigning in Karnataka like a state leader has actually, he not only diminished his own state leaders in Karnataka because they were outshone and their presence was not felt. It was only PM and Amit Shah and all of them. That was one thing. Second thing is his presence over here like a state leader actually demeaned his own personality, and he's ended up actually helping the Congress, and the presence of the Prime Minister actually has benefited the Congress party.
So do you think that the Bajrang Dal issue had any impact on the voters of Karnataka?
No, not at all, because Bajrang Dal issue is a completely different issue. It is an issue concerning law and order and criminality and organizations which support such criminal acts. So whether it's Bajrang Dal, whether it's PFI or any such organizations, the Congress party has said will take strong action. So how is that connected? It's for the good of the state. So I don't see that actually being a negative factor for us.
Do you think that the entry of Lingayats and Lingayat leaders from the BJP will help the Congress in any way?
See, all this has been spoken about. Ultimately, the BJP shot itself in its own foot by discarding Jagdish Shettar and Lakshman Saudi. And because they are tall leaders of reputation and have got vast experience, and them coming and joining Congress boosted the Congress party also. And also it showed that with what scant respect the BJP top leadership have treated these Lingayat leaders. And that includes Mr. Yediyurappa also. So somewhere I feel the community, the Lingayat community also is hurt by the way BJP has behaved, and that will have definitely an impact in the elections.
Mr. Gundurao, did the Congress do enough to present a progressive plan for Karnataka's future? That's what's needed.
Yes, we have given our 5 guarantees. We have given a manifesto. We have promised that we will help out the people who are right now suffering a lot because there's no achhe din for people today, the common man. Plus, we are talking about our investment in irrigation, our investment in urban areas, and to increase productivity, and all those things are part of a manifesto. So I think what is important is good governance, and a governance with a humane approach, and which helps the common man, and also which helps in developing the state in a progressive and in a manner which develops the entire state, not just a particular pocket. So I think Congress has given a very good manifesto and good schemes, and that is going to really benefit us in the election.
All right, Mr. Gundurao, appreciate you joining us. Rajalakshmi Joshi, political analyst, is also joining us on the program. Rajalakshmi Joshi, well, we've been talking about this for the past 40 minutes. You just joined us. The fact of the matter is a few points have come to light. When the BJP wanted an entry into southern India, and Karnataka was a great opportunity because in the other parts of South India, the BJP does not have that dominant presence. Do you think in a number of ways, this opportunity that the BJP had for the last few years could have been leveraged better?
Vineet, the BJP leaders have tweeted today saying that they're going to break not 1, not 2, but 3 jinxes actually. That is the kind of confidence that they have. That the one is that the BJP actually has never, they have never actually been able to get a complete majority on their own. So that is the first one. Now the second one is that there is this trend in Karnataka that there is this thing about anti-incumbency where the government normally doesn't get a second chance. So that is the second one. And, I think I can't remember what was the third jinx, but at least these 2 jinxes, they were very sure that they will be able to break it. So this, I think BJP is very confident about this thing. And, this there has been this conscious effort by the BJP to make inroads into all the southern states, so including Tamil Nadu and Kerala also. And Karnataka, actually, BJP has been pretty strong for quite some time. Now with the presence of Yediyurappa ji also, for quite some time, the BJP has been in power, though not completely, maybe they've not been able to get a complete majority, but at least they have been in power for some time in Karnataka. So it is definitely going to be very important for BJP to retain the power. And they do seem to be very confident about it. Now, contrary to what the Congress is claiming, I think I spoke to you some time back about this, that the Congress has already started looking for excuses, that kind about that EVM joke that people always keep floating, that wherever the Congress finds itself on a sticky wicket, they start talking about the EVM. So they have already started floating all these rumors about how some faulty EVMs were used, which were from South Africa, apparently. And the Election Commission has very strongly rebutted it, saying that South Africa, firstly, doesn't use these EVMs. And secondly, the Congress was very specifically aware that these were newly produced EVMs. And yet, if the Congress chooses to talk about EVMs, then I think that they probably are not all that confident about their victory, contrary to what they have been claiming all this time. So, these exit polls right now, you can't really say how it goes. But what I feel is, if things actually go as per these exit polls, and if the BJP is out of power in Karnataka, then be assured that the BJP will hit out with even double strength in the 2024 elections. So that is definitely, and the way in which people vote in the state elections and in the Lok Sabha elections, that is definitely different. So if you're talking about 2024 elections, then be assured that there is definitely going to be a double strength from the BJP if things actually go as per what you're saying.
But you of course you do mention 2024, and I want to go back to Dr. Rao as well. Dr. Rao, if the Congress does come to power in Karnataka, it perhaps is also going to open doors, or in fact give them the exuberance and the confidence that they need to go into 2024, which was not present all along. But the fact of the matter still remains. What's going to happen to the various issues that persist not only in Karnataka but definitely other parts of the country as well?
Vineet, actually today I have commented on Twitter about what Rajalakshmi just now mentioned.
Sir, I also want you to respond to what Mr. Reddy had spoken. He had refuted some of the claims that you had made about the progress in
Reddy
Karnataka.
is talking about, I had spoken only about the development issues. I didn't talk about corruption. The reason is that I don't, whoever is in power, the corruption has continued, as Dr. V.N. Jha mentioned. Because the corruption is at the institutional level, it is at the bureaucratic level. And these bureaucrats don't change. And they are used to collecting these commissions for a long, long time. It is not something which has newly come up. Actually, BJP under the leadership of Modi has been making efforts. But unless we voters give them a strong hand, how are they going to do it? If you give a hung assembly and there's all trading going on, which I mentioned earlier, you are going to have corruption right from the beginning. Then you can't hope that someone will be less corrupt. So if you want to fight corruption, the only politician in India who has shown a definite fight against corruption is Modi. So if a majority comes for the BJP, I am sure Modi will step in and do what he has already done in many states, choose his own man and ensure that as far as possible corruption is fought. And Modi's way of fighting corruption is to make everything digitalized so that each individual person, like he has done it in the income tax department, he says you shouldn't, there is no need for the income taxpayer to go and meet a particular officer. It is completely digitized. If you remember, Vineet, in the past, if you wanted a train ticket booking, and I'm old enough for that, we had to go to a specific counter to the specific person who had that register to get a ticket booked. Now what has happened? It is all gone. Digitization has made not only life easier, it has fought corruption very well. So this is one of the ways that he fights corruption. And I remember when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, and the surgeons in Gujarat used to keep inviting me to give a talk there. I would go there and see a lot of development happening. This was what was the much talked about Gujarat model. And when I asked them, how did he manage so much? They said he caught all the incompetent and the corrupt officials and posted them to Kutch. And they said in Kutch, there are only wild asses. There is no human being. Within a few days, that man would resign and go out. And they would also mention these surgeons. One of them was his personal doctor also. He said, पता नहीं ये आदमी है कि मशीन है, 4 घंटे सोता है, 20 घंटे काम करता है, and if this bureaucrat doesn't work, he throws them out. So this is the kind of development. This is why UP and the migrant workers from UP and Bihar kept talking about Gujarat model. And you see what happened in UP. People sitting in Karnataka haven't forgotten that the first election was fought by on Modi's name. It was not fought on Yogi Nath's name. And I tell you, there were enough political analysts who said if Yogi had been projected as the Chief Minister of UP, BJP would have lost badly. But BJP, it was Modi's choice. And in the second election, Yogi was able to win the election even under his own weight. So we in Karnataka have not forgotten that lesson. We have seen, this is just one example, there are many states where Modi has put his own men and tried to push development and suppress all these religious issues and also the corruption. So this is why I said lot of people have told me that we are voting for Modi. We are not voting for BJP. We are voting for Modi. We are hoping if he gets a majority, he will stop all this caste, religious, region equations and look at solving our developmental issues. As to his complaint, Reddy's, that there was floods. Floods was not all over Bangalore, mind you. Flood was only in the southeast corner of Bangalore, where these real estate lobbies have filled up lakes, blocked all the canals, and built buildings. And that is why we got floods there.
Right,
so
sir.
that is also a part of the corruption.
Let me also rope in Dr. Krasta once again. Dr. Krasta, there obviously seems to be a trend of corruption. Perhaps for a political party to break this, for a political party who comes to power in Karnataka and break this, it will also be advantage 2024.
Absolutely. Now, as for the exit polls, nobody will have the majority. So, if, as I already told you, now if the exit poll is taken before 3 p.m. and out of the 73% of the voting, after 3 p.m. is taken, 20% of the vote is taken after 2 p.m. That 20% is going to decide whether it is a Congress or BJP. So now, for the Congress, if they at all they get the magic mark of 113, then the corruption is 100% going to continue, because corruption started by them earlier. That is how it has been, but it has not been notified. Whereas it is only when the BJP came, the contract association declared that 40% of bribe is to be given, Madhadipati should be given 30% and all that. It is notified. But earlier Congress government also is in the same kind of system. Whereas now, if for the BJP gets the majority, BJP is going to get the stringent chatty from Amit Shah, Chadda and Modi. They are going to get ready for 2024 parliament election. So the corruption probably definitely will go away. And when so much of hangama has happened with the BJP government so far, with the double engine which has not developed Karnataka, and again if they come to power and if they start this kind of corruption, trust me, how these 69 MLAs are not given the job, probably the person who gets the corruption, he will go to the jail. Not to his house. He will definitely go to the jail, because so far all BJP MLAs, those who are corrupt, has not taken any action because of this election. And after the election, if the BJP government comes and if they get into corruption, they will 100%, they will find their home in the jail. So definitely that has to be a transparent government, no doubt about it. And somebody stated that it is only because of the system. Sir, system is managed by these MLAs and ministers. If the minister is non-corrupt, whole thing will change. Nobody will be dare enough to take bribe. Now, if the civic communities like corporation, BBMP, sub-registrar office, all they become corrupt. Why? Because ministers are corrupt. Because the money flows from down to the top. So when the top is non-corrupt, everything will streamline, and it has to be on digital system. Take, for example, as I rightly stated, income tax department, or take even for GST. Earlier, Central Excise Department and VAT Department, most corrupt. All the inspectors are on the diary. This is the industry pays so much of money, so always give the monthly when the file your RT12 form, you pay the money in the cover and get the seal done and go. So such things are streamlined now. So there is no corruption in GST, there is no corruption in income tax, and when anything is connected to central government, everything is being digitized. Why state government is not digitized? Because of the corruption. So definitely when the next, after 13, when the government comes, if the BJP comes, I am sure, definitely is going to be digitized. But if the Congress comes, 100% this corruption, 40% will increase to 50% and go on, and we have to suffer as a Karnataka man.
All right. Group Captain Jha, sir, we've almost run out of time. We'll take concluding thoughts from you and then we'll wrap up.
No, Vineet, I'll just say that when we have gone for voting, we kept in the mind who all have done what for Karnataka. First thought went to the Congress, because there was an undercurrent before the electoral process started for Congress. We asked ourselves, who was Siddaramaiah? Siddaramaiah was infamous for wristwatch, Lokayukta board, Waqf board, 117 acres land scam, like blah, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, X to Z. He was infamous for that. Who was, the next CM? He was known for his incapability. He used to cry that Congress is twisting his tail to get the corruption. Who was BJP? BJP had severe infighting in the initial days, till the time when Yedurupai went off, and then the present incumbent Bomai came. Bomai has been a clean person. So thereafter, the opinion started changing, and Congress made many of the mistakes during the electoral process. So we were thinking that possibly BJP may just, scrape through. But, having said everything, the present BJP government has done a bit of, development work. Like, Bomai himself has been known for the farmer's man. He had done a lot of things for the farmers, like 11.2 crore farmers of the state, lakh farmers of the state. They have got some 10,000 rupees each of them. There are many other schemes, including those flood-hit period of the farmers, that he has done a lot. And apart from that, there have been a lot of development also thereafter. So he has done all this. Now, all it depends. I have not seen any undercurrent for Congress. But if there was any other reason, I won't know about that. That will be apparent tomorrow. I think BJP has an edge. Maybe some support of some MLAs from here and there. They may be able to form the government tomorrow.
Right, sir.
Let us see what comes up tomorrow.
Absolutely. So appreciate you joining us. It's a D-Day tomorrow for the Congress as well as the Bharatiya Janata Party. If the Congress does get to win Karnataka tomorrow, it's going to be infusing a big lease of life in the languid campaign that the Congress has had in other parts of the country.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.